Jesus' acts of compassion among the Gentiles. After these things, Jesus was walking in Galilee, for he wouldn't walk in Judea, because the Jews sought to kill him. Jesus arose and went out from there and withdrew into the region of Tyre and Sidon and went away into the borders of Tyre and Sidon. He entered into a house and didn't want anyone to know it, but he couldn't escape notice. For behold, a Canaanite woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit came out from those borders, having heard of him, and cried, saying, "Have mercy on me, Lord, you Son of David. My daughter is severely possessed by a demon." She came and fell down at his feet and begged him that he would cast the demon out of her daughter. Now the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by race. But Jesus answered her not a word. His disciples came and begged him, saying, "Send her away, for she cries after us." But he answered, "I wasn't sent to anyone but the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." But Jesus answered and said to her, "Let the children be filled first, for it is not appropriate to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." But she answered him and said, "Yes, Lord, but yet even the dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." Then Jesus answered her, and he said to her, "Woman, great is your faith. Be it done to you even as you desire." For this saying, "Go your way. The demon has gone out of your daughter." And her daughter was healed from that hour. She went away to her house, and found the child having been laid on the bed, with the demon gone out. Again Jesus departed from there, from the borders of Tyre and Sidon, and came near to the Sea of Galilee through the middle of the region of Decapolis, and he went up on the mountain and sat there. Great multitudes came to him, having with them the lame, blind, mute, maimed, and many others, and they put them down at his feet. He healed them, so that the multitude wondered when they saw the mute speaking, the injured healed, the lame walking, and the blind seeing, and they glorified the God of Israel. They brought to him one who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech. They begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him aside from the multitude privately and put his fingers into his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed, and said to him, "Ephphatha," that is, "be opened." Immediately his ears were opened, and the impediment of his tongue was released, and he spoke clearly. He commanded them that they should tell no one, but the more he commanded them, so much the more widely they proclaimed it. They were astonished beyond measure, saying, "He has done all things well. He makes even the deaf hear and the mute speak." In those days, when there was a very great multitude, and they had nothing to eat, Jesus summoned his disciples to himself and said to them, "I have compassion on the multitude, because they have stayed and continued with me now 3 days and have nothing to eat. I don't want to send them away fasting, or they might faint on the way. If I send them away fasting to their home, they will faint on the way, for some of them have come a long way." His disciples answered him and said to him, "From where could one satisfy these people with bread here in a deserted place? Where could we get so many loaves in a deserted place as to satisfy so great a multitude?" Jesus said to them, and he asked them, "How many loaves do you have?" They said, 7, and a few small fish. He commanded the multitude to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves. He gave thanks and broke them, and gave them to his disciples to serve, and the disciples to the multitudes, and they served the multitude. They also had a few small fish. Having blessed them, he said to serve these also. They all ate and were filled. They took up 7 baskets full of the broken pieces that were left over. Those who had eaten were about 4,000 men, in addition to women and children.